Mitch McConnell took to the Senate floor and made some shit up. So let's watch, and then we'll come back and discuss it.
Just before the election, the Democratic leader said he believed the Senate had a moral obligation, even beyond the economy and politics, to avoid gridlock. Put simply, he said, we have to get things done. And yet, just a few months later, Democrat obstruction has reached new extreme levels that the smallest number of cabinet officials have been confirmed in modern history at this point in a presidency. It's a historic break in tradition, a departure from how newly elected presidents of both parties have been treated in decades past.
Mitch McConnell is a liar. The Republicans under Obama broke virtually every obstruction record there is. So the Supreme Court, for example, with Merrick Garland, they obstructed for over a year. They shattered the old record. They didn't even have a hearing on him. It's one thing to have a hearing on him and then vote him down. They didn't even allow a hearing on him. They said, no, we're just not even going to vote on it, and you don't get this last Supreme Court pick, even though you're going to be in office for over a year from when Scalia passed away. That is historic, literally historic obstruction. They broke the filibuster record under Obama by 1.5 miles. Everything was de facto filibustered. Whatever the Democrats brought up, we're filibuster. Anything, doesn't matter. Even if it's their philosophy and their ideology and it's something that they agree with, filibuster. We're just going to flat out filibuster it, and that's the end of the conversation. And remember, under the rules, you don't actually have to filibuster, where you have to go up there and talk and hold the floor and not yield it. All you have to do is say, we are decreeing that the other side needs 60 votes or more to get this passed. So they broke the filibuster record. They broke the record for obstruction for the Supreme Court. When it comes to specific policies, did you know they tried to repeal Obamacare over 60 times? Over 60 times. Even things that over 90% of the American people supported. 92% of the American people wanted a universal background check bill after the Sandy Hook massacre where children were slaughtered. Well, guess what? Mitch McConnell filibustered it and then joked about it on Twitter, about how he was going against the will of 92% of the American people. He was poking fun at Harry Reid over it. So you want to talk about obstruction. How is it not historic obstruction to block something over 90% of the American people want? How is that not historic obstruction, where you put a middle finger up to the American people, including a majority of Republicans? That is historic obstruction. It is historic obstruction, literally, when you break the filibuster record. It is historic obstruction when you say, we're not even going to hear out Merrick Garland for over a year. And Merrick Garland, by the way, is a centrist judge to the point where it pissed me off. It wasn't a liberal. He wasn't a progressive. He's a centrist judge. So Obama bent over backwards to be reasonable and bipartisan and centrist for these people, to my dismay, and they still spit in his eye. And now they have the nerve to get up there and say, the Democrats and their historic obstruction. He said, quote, this is new extreme obstruction. This is historic obstruction. Really? Is it historic obstruction when Elizabeth Warren, one of the most progressive members of the Senate, voted to approve Ben Carson for housing and urban development? Yes, you heard me right. Elizabeth Warren voted yes on Ben Carson. Is it historic obstruction when, 14 Democrats in the Senate voted to approve Pompeo for CIA head? Guys, Pompeo said we should execute Edward Snowden, and 14 Democrats voted for him. This is a guy who is deeply, deeply, deeply right-wing. I mean, he defended torture, and 14 Democrats voted for him. And Mitch McConnell's, historic obstruction that 14 of you voted for this cretin that we picked for the CIA. Who else got approved? Rex Tillerson got some Democratic votes. Rex Tillerson, the CEO of ExxonMobil, is now Secretary of State for President Donald Take the Oil Trump. And Democrats voted for him. You know what, Mitch? They're not doing historic obstruction, but they should. Look, don't get me wrong, man. I'm reasonable. If you put some people up who I don't agree with, but I don't think they're crazy and I don't think they have disqualifying beliefs, fine, I'll let them through. So you know who I'll give you? I'll give you Mattis, General Mattis, because Mattis allegedly talked Trump out of torture. Okay, so he's the best of all of a bad group. Okay, I'll give you Mattis. Maybe I'll give you Nikki Haley for the UN. Outside of that, it ain't my problem. It's your problem that you're picking people who are pro-torture. It's your problem that you're picking people who are for labor secretary and against the minimum wage and are Ayn Rand loyalists. It's your problem that you're picking ExxonMobil's CEO, who's got financial interests in all these different countries, to be Secretary of State. It's your problem that you're appointing the swamp. So I will vote no on everybody who should get a no vote. So we're not doing historic obstruction. We should do historic obstruction. And if that means we approve 2 of your people and then you have to repick for the rest of them, so fucking be it. Because we're not doing this for us. We're not doing it for partisan reasons. We're doing it for the American people and basic sanity and international law. Approving somebody who wants to execute Edward Snowden and who defends torture isn't on the table. That's non-negotiable. You casually believe international law. I don't believe in it. Great, well then fuck off, because I'm not going to let you be the head of the CIA. So they're not doing historic obstruction, but maybe they should. And Mitch McConnell, you should look in the fucking mirror next time you open your mouth about obstruction, because you are the world's biggest hypocrite, because you were the world's biggest obstructionist, and you know that. You're just playing political games. This isn't about the issues, and this isn't about the facts.